With an SEC title in the balance, will the Tide rise up or will the Gamecocks spoil the party? You're watching college softball on the SEC Network. A packed house here at Rhodes, a beautiful day in Tuscaloosa, and it's the final day of the regular season as number 3 Alabama looks to sweep number 21 South Carolina and stay in the fight for the SEC regular season title. Here are the standings. The Oklahoma Sooners have a doubleheader today against Texas A&M. They're a half game up on the Tide. That first game between OU and A&M is scoreless in the third right now. And we welcome you to the booth here at Rhodes Stadium. Gray Robertson alongside the 3-time All-American Kaylee Towan. Partner, it's been a low-scoring series so far, but a lot of fun to call, honestly, and there's a lot on the line here today, especially for Alabama.
It's a must-win for both teams. Alabama wanting to win an SEC championship, and nobody wants to get swept. So South Carolina back against the wall. They're going to come out fighting. Yeah, let's walk through the scenarios for the Crimson Tide and the SEC race. You win one and Oklahoma loses one of the two today against Texas A&M, and Alabama and the Sooners share the SEC regular season title. If A&M sweeps OU today and sweeps that series, then Alabama with a win would be your outright SEC regular season champs. Of course, South Carolina is hoping none of this comes into play, but for that to happen, they've got to hit the ball a lot better in big situations. This is the difference maker in the series so far. The situationals for South Carolina, just 3 for 24 with runners on, 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, not getting that 2-out production. This is going to have to change if they want to come out with a win today. And a little bit of a shift in the order. Tori Inslee in the leadoff spot today for the Gamecocks. 1 through 3 have been strong, 7 hits in the series. But the rest of the lineup has to produce just 4 hits so far against the Tide. Tori Inslee takes the first pitch out to left, and that's a base hit to start things off. South Carolina aggressive, just like they were in game 1 against Brisky, and a leadoff single. And those lineup changes already paying off for Coach Woodard. Tori Inslee up in that leadoff spot, their best hitter right now, and she starts off the first inning with a single. Inslee now batting .500 in this series, 4 of 8. She's been in the 2 spot, flipped with Quincy Lelio, who steps in now. Bunted, deadened. Throw to first in time, but Inslee's on second, 1 down. Well, Jocelyn Brisky, the junior out of Phoenix, Arizona, is in a good position to maybe win SEC Pitcher of the Year, but she's got designs on more. She'll need a great performance today to help Alabama get the sweep. She's already had a couple appearances here this weekend. She's having a great year. That strikeout to walk ratio, exactly where you want it to be. She pounds the zone. That's why you'll see South Carolina swinging early in these at-bats, because they know she's bringing strikes early in these counts. And 2 on Carly Shelton. See that first pitch swing rate. I was talking about South Carolina being aggressive. They only swing at the first pitch about 25% of the time, but off Brisky, over 50%, 54%, because they know she's coming with strikes early in their at-bats. Change up, rolled over to first. Wells will step on the bag. Inslee's on third, 2 down. Already a very quick first inning, just 5 pitches from Brisky as Jamie McKay steps in with a big RBI chance, but she comes up empty on the first swing. Well, and a golden opportunity for the South Carolina offense. We talked about the situationals. Right now, you've got a runner at third, first inning, and with these 1-run ball games, this is a great opportunity for Jamie McKay. McKay, the senior out of Laguna Beach, California. In the series, 1 for 6 on the year, batting .282 with runners in scoring position. Got her. Good start for Brisky, and South Carolina strands a runner at third. Sticky situation in the first inning, no problem for Jocelyn.
Well, Jory Hurd back in the circle for the South Carolina Gamecocks, a senior righty out of Algonquin, Illinois, the unquestioned ace in this staff, and she'll need to be as sharp as she was in game one, Kaylee.
Absolutely. She was great in that close game on Thursday night. She has some good stuff. She likes to work her two-seam fastball. It moves like a curve, and then her rise ball as well, and she'll mix in an off-speed. It's going to be interesting how often she decides to throw her off-speed in this second appearance of the weekend. Didn't see it a lot in game one, but it'll be good to have in this game to throw off the timing of these Alabama hitters.
And both pitchers have the wind to help, blowing in here in Tuscaloosa today. First pitch ball to Alexis Papillo, and the leadoff spot for Patrick Murphy. And here's the lineup. Anna Roman batting cleanup, 3 for 5 in the series, and had that RBI double to score the lone run of game two. That's a foul ball.
We talked about the two-seam fastball that Jory Hurd has. It's going to be inside to these lefties and outside to the righties. She's working it on that inside corner to Alexis Papillo. Papillo needs to let that get a little bit deeper, try to take it into the right center gap, stay on your backside. Good tilt, drive it out to the wall.
One and two on the senior out of Crystal Lake, Illinois. 1 for 6 in the series so far. That one time she reached was on a single, and Brooke Wells drove her in on a 2-run homer off of Hurd in game one.
She's a difference maker for this offense. She sets the table when she gets on. She gives Brooke Wells so many options. South Carolina working with a shift here. They've got Shelton, the second baseman, pulled over into the 3-4 hole, attacking that inside corner on Papillo.
And she comes up empty. First strikeout for Hurd, one down.
Hurd using that rise ball, the pitch before, to change Papillo's eye level, and then goes back down and in with the two-seam fastball for the strikeout. Nice start to this game for the senior.
And in steps Brooke Wells. Cold strike on the outer half to the sophomore from Round Rock, Texas. The transfer from Houston. 2 for 5 in the series with that massive 2-run homer in game one. Other hit was a double also in game one. And there's the off speed, 0-2.
That home run from game one on a pitch on the inside corner. Seeing Hurd in the circle make some adjustments. All these pitches on the outside half. And Brooke Wells has proved that she can hit outside pitches, but that inside where she can get turned on it is her power zone. And if you are going to go in, it's right there. It's tight, it's under the hands, it's nothing that Wells can get extended on, and it's really just a show me pitch. Change your eyes, that way you're not setting outside.
2-2. Well, check down, she didn't go, full count.
Patrick Murphy getting this crowd up.
Good battle.
Brooke Wells spoiling some good pitches on the corners. She's seeing a little bit of everything right now. And as a player today, you know, we talked about what's at stake with an SEC championship on the line. You know that. And your big-time players are going to be bringing a little extra juice. And Brooke Wells, probably the biggest-time player on the field.
This is in the air to left. Lelio will settle. 2 down. So Hurd picking up where she kind of started the game in game 1. She was very efficient early on. Quieted the Alabama offense. Now facing Giles, who sends the first pitch down the right side, and Ariana Rhodey and Kayla Bro collided. It was out of play anyway.
Well, we talked about it. Jory Hurd had a great outing. It was just the one pitch to Brooke Wells that was the difference. She pitched very well in game 1. Used her 2-seam fastball a lot. It was moving. It was getting the righties and the lefties.
Those are the numbers Hurd put up in game 1. 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. Didn't walk anybody, which is always crucial in the SEC. I mean, only 8 total walks by the pitching staff through 2 games is very impressive all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, they've been making Alabama earn everything, and it has been tight.
On the ground to second. Shelton's throw is in time, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Jory Hurd. Matchup with Texas in the quarterfinals on Thursday.
I am so tuned in to those matchups. The bracket, tough. We got Tennessee there in the middle. Arkansas playing their best ball, just won the series at Texas. And Alabama with that series win over Texas earlier in the season, you know they're going to be ready to go if Texas sees Alabama again in the tournament.
And I always think about which teams would be the toughest preps, and I think a team like Mississippi State or South Carolina with Emma Friedel pitching as well as she is, that's a lot of talented arms that you have to quickly study up in a single elimination play every day type setting.
Absolutely, and sometimes you get the benefit of playing in the first round. Yes, you want the buys and the rest for your team, but if you can get hot in that first round and ride that momentum throughout the tournament, we've seen that a few times in the last 10 years or so of teams getting hot and riding it all the way to an SEC championship.
Rhodey with a solo shot to right. The wind kept carrying it out, and Ari Rhodey has the Gamecocks on the board in the second.
South Carolina has been waiting for Ariana Rhodey to wake up all season. She has the power, and it's this swing right here. She goes oppo with a pitch over the heart of the plate. So strong, has had a lot of success against Alabama in her career. Gets her another home run against the Tide today to put her team on the board.
First hit of the weekend for Rhodey. 3rd career home run off Brisky. Lexi Winters first pitch to 3rd. Hubbard's throw is in time, 1 down.
We talked about how South Carolina was going to be aggressive and swing early in their at-bats. If you're Jocelyn Brisky, you have to move the ball early in those at-bats when you know that they're going to be swinging. That pitch just left way too sweet over the plate against a hitter that you know can take the ball out in one swing.
Now Brisky faces Tate Davis. First pitch to Hubbard. 2 away.
And this is the difference, right? You get 2 hitters that come up. They're also swinging early and swinging aggressive, but these pitches have a little bite to them, and she gets them to roll over to 3rd for a ground ball versus a pitch that stays flat and it goes into the brickyard.
Big swing for Rhodey, not just in this game. I'm sure she felt good seeing one go out ahead of the postseason. 11th home run of the year for Rhodey, and now Natalie Heath, redshirt senior from Sharpsburg, Georgia. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Brisky caps off the inning with a K, but South Carolina's on the board. Ariana Rohde with the bomb.
Rohde with a big swing to send one out to the brickyard. She does not want to get swept, and she's showing up today.
Peck had a 5-0 lead and watched it really crumble late against the Bears. And our friends Amanda Scarborough, Matt Schumacher had the rubber match today in Lubbock, but just chaos all night last night.
Well, and against Nyjah Kennedy, right? And it's so hard to close a game late in the season. Nobody wants to lose, and you know when you get into those 6th and 7th innings, teams are just clawing, trying to do everything they can, and Baylor able to put up a fight and come away with a late inning win.
Another crazy comeback, that Florida-Georgia game as well. Georgia with 7 runs in the 5th inning, and then a walk-off on an attempted intentional walk.
Yeah, and then Georgia run ruling today.
And snagged by Rohde at first, 1 down.
2 different type of walk-offs.
South Carolina is hoping to add a top 10 upset on this Saturday, up 1-0. Jory Hurd in the circle. Jenna Young at the plate, junior out of Winterset, Iowa. Feeling 1 for 6 here this weekend. Striped out to right. Make it 2 for 7. Jenny Young's aboard, Alabama's first hit.
Jenny Young making a nice adjustment on this fastball inside from Jory Hurd. She lets the pitch get a little bit deeper, stays on her backside, and just drills it through that 3-4 hole. Textbook. The lefties are going to see a lot of that pitch today. They need to give themselves some space, do exactly what Jenny Young did, shoot it out into right field.
Big cut from Audrey Vandegrift, sophomore out of Bogart, Georgia. 2 for 5 with a triple. Did not go, 1-1.
Hurd just pounding that inside corner with the 2-seam fastball. Interesting, we didn't see Vandegrift try to bunt in this at bat.
Just missed, full count. Yeah, we've seen the South Carolina defense move in and out on some of the bunt threats all weekend long. 2 strikes, that'll be off the table here. Payoff. Got her. Young takes off. The throw is not in time. Or rather, I think the throw was, but the tag wasn't applied. 2 down, but a runner in scoring position.
A great slide by Jenna Young, but you see the strikeout from Jory Hurd. She was working the inside corner on Vandegrift. She knew Vandegrift had a couple swings and misses, works it again for the strikeout. But Jenna Young uses her speed and a really good slide around the backside of second base to get herself into scoring position. And that's where the speed of Alabama helps them out, because that works like a sacrifice in an at-bat where Vandegrift strikes out.
But this is an area where Alabama has really struggled the last few games as Maddie Hubbard steps in. 0 for 1 in the series. Alabama 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position against South Carolina. And that's amazing considering Alabama's won those games.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about the situationals for South Carolina, but you see them there for Alabama as well. 0 for 14 runners in scoring position. They're not getting the 2-out production either, and they've left 12 on base. These games have been so close. Thursday night, the difference is the wild pitch. Yesterday, the difference is 1 double off the bat of Anna Roman. They have been very tough one-run ball games where neither team has really had the offensive production they've been looking for.
Right down the heart for strike 1. Check on Lexi Winters after wearing that foul ball a bit off the bat of Hubbard.
That never feels good, especially when it comes off the bat. She's tough. She's good.
Senior out of Lexington, South Carolina. Back to the circle. Hurd makes the flip. Inning over. No answer for Alabama, and we're off to the third. Gamecocks lead by a run. The third, Gamecocks have 9-1-2 due up, which means Tori Inslee is on deck for the visitors. She has seen a major uptick in production the last few weeks in the back half of the season, and she has made a big adjustment, Kaylee, that's really helped her out.
You see those hands for Tori Inslee coming a lot closer to her body. South Carolina working with a third party and just figuring out Tori Inslee more axial than spatial, and works well when her levers are closer to her. So she gets to the same position ultimately, but having those hands closer gets her a little more comfortable, keeps her eyes down, and she's been seeing a lot of success with that simple swing change.
Sometimes it can just be something little that totally unlocks a different kind of hitter.
Absolutely, and like I said, you know, she's getting to the same position. It's not like her launch is really any different. It's just having those hands a lot closer to her, and there's so many tools and technologies now for hitters to figure out what works best for them, and absolutely paying off for Tori Inslee with the numbers she's been putting up.
So she's hoping that Shea Anderson can reach a couple pitches way out of his zone from Brisky to start the AB. Now a hard foul. Sophomore out of Moore Park, California. 0 for 3 with a couple Ks here this weekend.
Really good drop ball from Jocelyn Brisky. You see the attempt to bunt, and that pitch just falling off the table.
One of the longer at-bats of the game, and it ends with a strikeout.
Brisky bringing that drop ball up in the zone for this strike 3. You saw the pitch before skip the dirt, and this one right on the bottom of the zone gets the swing and miss for the strikeout, and that's big because now Tori Inslee comes to the plate with nobody on base.
She singled in the first. And a changeup to start. 0-1 on the junior out of Franklin, North Carolina, the NC State transfer, and you see the numbers year to year. Big uptick in home runs, RBIs, and batting average, really everything statistically just better this year for Tori Inslee.
The power up a ton. That slugging percentage, the home runs, RBIs, getting comfortable in the South Carolina uniform, and really just hitting her stride. And they've needed that. Ariana Rhodey has been their big hitter, well, for Coach Woodard at Charlotte and now at South Carolina. And Tori Inslee's really risen to the occasion this year and become that RBI producer.
That time, Brisky fielded her position well. 2 away. Quincy Lilio takes it high for ball 1. Lilio laid down a sack bunt in the first. It's fouled back. South Carolina knows where they'll be in the SEC tournament, either the 11 or the 12 seed, depending on the result today. Alabama knows they've got the double bye. They're one of the top 4 seeds. The question is, which number? A lot happening right now across the conference that will determine that.
And ultimately, Alabama just has to take care of their business today. They have to focus on this game and winning this game.
Oh, Alabama thought that was strike 3. Instead, it's a full count.
It's a good pitch from Brisky, low and out. Doesn't get the call, but a good 2-strike pitch.
Now the payoff. Ball 4. A rare walk given up by Jocelyn Brisky and a 2-out base runner for South Carolina.
Those last 2 pitches, very close. This one on the inside corner, maybe a little up.
Second baseman number 33,
Carly Shelton. That's just for Brisky, the 17th walk surrendered this year and well north of 120 innings. One out to Shelton. Hit foul.
Well, and even when she does walk, she's challenging the zone. Those are super close pitches, and kudos to Lilio for laying off.
Some of the misses for Brisky have been a little bit bigger here today.
Well, sometimes when you're amped up a little bit, you're trying to bring that velo, and you can get a little wide, a little outside yourself. But she's got some good stuff today as well. That drop ball's moving.
Hitters count for Carly Shelton, the 3-1. Lifted towards the gap. Carly Shelton off the glove of Vandergriff. Lilio running for home. Play at the plate is not in time. RBI double for Shelton, and South Carolina has a second run.
Shelton leveraging a hitter's count. She gets a pitch that she can handle. Textbook, lets it travel and then drives it into left center. I thought Audrey Vandergriff had a chance at this one, that she looked a little confused, maybe some communication with Kristen White in center, but Lilio motoring around. South Carolina, second run of the game.
You see the graphic now, 15 doubles for Shelton. That 14 entering today was good for top 10 in the SEC, and the Gamecocks have found some of the clutch hitting. The home run by Rhodey, and now a hit with a runner on by Shelton to bring in Lilio. And a chance for more here in the third with Shelton on second, McKay at the plate. Out off the leg.
And that was a great hit, but I think if you ask Audrey Vandergriff, she knows she should have caught that ball. She hesitated a little bit. I think she thought Kristen White was going to come into the gap and catch it. ends up going off her glove. If it hits your glove, you know you should have caught it.
Okay, struck out earlier. Fouls off that 0-2 to stay alive. That is smack foul. Another foul ball.
Good at bat here by Jamie McKay, spoiling some good pitches, fouling them off. I'm interested to see how long Alabama will go with Brisky if South Carolina continues to put good contact on some of these pitches.
Got Palazzi and Moten meandering around the pin. Just walked out there now. Another 0-2 is in the dirt. Swing and a miss. Fourth strikeout for Brisky, but Carolina adds another RBI double from Shelton, and the Gamecocks lead it 2-0. With a win and 2 OU losses would have it solo, but right now the Gamecocks are not following the script that Alabama wanted. 2-0 South Carolina. And Jory Hurd back in the circle against 8-9-1, Hawkins, White, and Papillo. And it's been, Kaylee Tao, this part of the order, 8 and 9, where Alabama's had a lot of opportunities, but seen little production. And Patrick Murphy, I'm sure, is hoping that changes today with Hawkins and White.
Yeah, they've struggled to cash in situations where they've had runners in scoring position. And right now, you know, you're leading off an inning, a chance to give your offense a spark. And that's why I said Alabama has to just worry about what's happening on the field today, because the moment you start thinking about, well, we need Oklahoma to do this or Texas A&M to do this, you lose sight of the fact that you also have to show up and win today.
Hawkins strikes out. Hurd's third K, 1 down.
I wondered if Jory Hurd would throw the off-speed more today. She hasn't needed to. The two-seam fastball is still so good, and Alabama hasn't proved they can hit it. She's just been working it low and away to the righties, gets the strikeout of Salem Hawkins.
Kristen White takes the inside strike. 0-1 on the senior out of Phoenix City, Alabama. That's the other thing Hurd has done very well, especially it seems against Hawkins and White, getting ahead 0-2.
Yeah, and then just making them chase, right? She keeps pounding the same pitches, changing the location a little bit, but it's that fastball under the hands of the lefties right there that until they hit it, she's going to continue to throw it.
And that hits Kristen White. A mistake on 0-2 gives Alabama a chance with a base runner and 1 out in the third.
Jory Hurd trying to put that one even lower and even further in to get the swing and miss. Pitch gets away from her, and a break for Alabama with their best part of the lineup coming up with a runner on.
And needing a moment from Alexis Papillo, who struck out earlier. South Carolina has hammered the inner half against Papillo. They will again, but she adjusts. 2 on, 1 out for Brooke Wells.
I knew it was coming, so I know Alexis Papillo knew it was coming. It's the inside pitch. They've been pounding her with that early in the count all weekend long. This time she gets turned on it, beats the shift. Shelton's over in the 3-4 hole, and she hits it hard enough to get it past her. Now 2 runners aboard for Brooke Wells, the RBI producer for the Crimson Tide.
And out comes the South Carolina coaching staff. Pitching coach Zach Parsons having a word with Hurd. How are you attacking Brooke Wells here if you're Jory Hurd?
I think you stay with your same game plan. They've been working her away, changing her eye level with the rise ball underneath the hands, and they've had success doing that. The thing is, Brooke Wells is so good. So again, she knows that that's coming. Let that ball travel and take it to the right center gap, double off the wall.
Wells, the Alabama home run leader, 21 on the season. It was her second at-bat in the 3rd inning against Hurd, where she had the 2-run shot in game 1. SEC play, the production has risen big time. His first 12 games hit just 282, even after a rapid start against Ole Miss, but much more consistent in the back half.
Well, she's a big-time hitter, but she's new to the SEC, and the level of play in this conference, struggling a little bit at the start, but she's picked it up and really put her team on her back.
South Carolina not messing around, 3-0.
Jory Hurd trying to be fine with Brooke Wells. She doesn't want to put anything over the plate. Now gets herself into a 3-0 count.
Bases loaded. It looked like the Gamecocks had no interest in pitching to Brooke Wells. And now Alabama will look for production from Marley Giles behind her. Giles grounded out in the 1st. Improvement year over year for the leader of this Alabama team, and this season having the best year of her college tenure. And a late time call. At first I saw Kristen White waving time over at 3rd. I'm not sure if something...
I think Patrick Murphy wanted a timeout, and he was yelling for a conference. You see the umpire there. Patrick Murphy was calling for a conference with Marley Giles. He'll get it now.
That was Brian Crochet over at 3rd.
I'll tell you exactly what he's telling Marley Giles. She's getting a healthy dose of outside pitches. Jamie McKay playing mid-depth in right field. He wants her to go with that outside pitch, burn the right fielder, put it on the warning track over there. One good hit with the bases loaded wins the ball game.
Giles on the year is batting .500 with the bases loaded, 3 for 6. That was high, and no stress for Winters, 2-0. These aren't missing by much, but a 3-0 count on Giles and nowhere to put her. And this is where Rhodes can make a massive difference.
You're reading my mind, Gray. This is where the Rhodes house wants to come alive. You give them an opportunity, and they're going to get up and get wild.
The 3-0, right down the heart for strike one.
This is where if I'm Marley Giles, I am ready to go. I'm in a 3-1 count. You know Hurd cannot walk you. She's coming at you. You got to be ready to go on something in the zone.
She got something but fouled it off. Full count. And a pinch runner coming on for Patrick Murphy. And some more speed on the base paths as Kinley Pate, the senior, comes in for Brooke Wells at first. Last day of the regular season. Drama everywhere in the SEC, including right here. Payoff to Giles was ball 4, and a run will score. Hurd went change, and Alabama responds with a run here in the third.
It's not a bad pitch by Jory Hurd, but Winters not able to grab it behind the plate. And the RBI walk for Marley Giles. And now the big hitter for this series, Anna Roman, come to the plate with the bases loaded.
Time called. This has not been Roman's strength, however. 1 for 8 with the bases loaded this year. She almost got hit by the first pitch. 1-0. With the wind continuing to gust hard in.
See Anna Roman feet up on that chalk line. Like to see her back off, give herself some space. She's been getting pounded inside.
And fooled by the change there, 1-2. Now look at the wind, the flag's practically straight out. Out to left, 1 run will score. Pate stops at third, this game is tied, and Anna Roman has the big hit again.
Roman cashing in. She gets a pitch outside and just goes with it. This is why her toes are on the chalk. Able to go with a pitch out into left field and score another run for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Anna Roman showing up for her team this weekend.
At what point, if you're Coach Woodard, are you considering the move to Emma Friedel?
I would say one more hit. She maybe has one more batter, depending on how she gets Jenna Young.
There's Friedel in the pin. She's been warming up sporadically. Coach Woodard said she would not hesitate to bring her in. She was available. Jory Hurd in the circle now. High to Jenna Young. Single for the Iowa transfer. Her first time up. Three and 0. Full count.
Infield pulled all the way in, going for the runner at home.
Payoff to Young, fouled away. That last hit by Anna Roman to tie the game was Alabama's first with a runner in scoring position all weekend. A second would give Alabama the lead. Instead, it's ball 4. That works too. 3-2 Alabama.
Good patience there by Jenna Young. You can feel the crowd, everything getting a little amped up, stays inside of herself on a 3-2 pitch, takes a walk for an RBI.
And no movement yet from the Carolina dugout.
Well, and Coach Woodard talked to us about her pitchers and going into the postseason, knowing that they have to be in these situations and learn how to work out of them. You saw her talking to Jory Hurd there, telling her, hey, you're the one. You got to work out of it. You're the one.
Hurd got Vandergrift to strike out earlier. But Alabama, to your point, is way up on the chalk line this second time through.
Vandergrift knows these inside pitches are coming, flying a little bit with that front shoulder. I think losing her eyes just a little. Even though you know it's coming, you still have to stay connected, let it get deeper than you think, and drive it in the 3-4 hole.
Called strike 3. A clutch changeup from Hurd for out number 2.
Hurd switching things up with the off speed to get the All-American. Audrey Vandergrift shows her a couple pitches inside and then puts the off speed on the outside corner for strike 3.
And strike 1 on Maddie Hubbard, who grounded out in the second. Another moment in this series where the bottom part of Alabama's order comes up in a big-time situation. This is a tough play, but it's foul.
Hubbard, not an everyday starter, working her way back in the lineup. Big opportunity for her.
This year 0 for 2 with the bases loaded. The 0-2. Held off. And the other thing to consider, Coach Woodard also mentioned she really liked to bring Friedel in clean innings, and this would not have been a clean inning.
Absolutely a tough situation for any pitcher to come into. But Jory Hurd's the senior, so much experience, and they're going to ride Jory Hurd into the postseason. They want to come out of a regional, make a deep run in the SEC tournament. She is going to be the pitcher, and she's going to have to work out of jams like this.
Swing and a miss. Jory Hurd does indeed get out of the jam, but Alabama takes the lead, a 3-spot, a 1-run lead for the Tide. Series in Tuscaloosa, Alabama leads South Carolina 3-2 as we go to the 4th. Gray Robertson and Kaylee Tao in the booth, now joined by South Carolina head coach Ashley Woodard. And Coach, you got the scoring started with an Ari Rhode solo home run. I know it's been a tough year for her, but how great was it to see her have that kind of swing right at the tail end of the regular season?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, she does that stuff a lot in practice and her training, and when she does it in a game right now, we just, you know, are really positive about it, and that's the kind of trust and belief we have in her, that we know she's capable of doing that anytime she wants to. So it was good to see. I want her to keep carrying that with her the rest of the way.
Coach, you've got an experienced senior in the circle in Jory Hurd. Talk about your decision to leave her out there last inning and fight through that.
Yeah, I mean, Emma Friedel is ready to go. You know, I just really liked Jory against the lefties, and we were in that part of the order. So, you know, I felt like Jory was going to get herself out of it. You know, we trust her, and she's been so good for us all year. She struggled a little bit with command there for a few hitters, and, you know, it's good for her to be able to work through that. You know, that's a little bit of a futuristic you know, investment for us over the next couple of weeks to have her work through it. So, you know, it was a little bit of combo of where we're at in the order, and then also letting her work through some struggle that, you know, she hasn't experienced a ton of adversity out there yet this year. So, but we believe her. We believe in her, and I know she's going to figure it out.
Absolutely, Coach. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Coach Ashley Woodard for South Carolina, talking us through all the decisions as Friedel is still working out in the pen, and Ari Rhode, who we talked about, is leading off this fourth inning. 5-6-7, Rhode, Winters, and Davis against Jocelyn Brisky.
And Coach Woodard talked about the futuristic approach. Well, if they can get Ariana Rhode going, this part of the lineup, very, very dangerous. Shelton having a career year, Ensley having a career year, and they're able to put up some big numbers when you find that rhythm through your best hitters and your RBI producers.
Yeah, if you're South Carolina, I think you know what the deal is. You're going to be a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. You're in the NCAA tournament pretty safely. RPI looks good, resume's good. Ari Rhode looking good. Second hit today, leadoff single in the fourth.
Rhode a little early, gets around that, but finds the hole. And I've talked about it. When things start going good, it feels like everything goes good. And this time, again, she's early, she's around it, but she scoots it through the infield, finds herself a single, and that has to feel good. Back-to-back hits after a little slow of a season. But it's the right time right now. If you're going to wake up, start playing your best ball, May is the best time to do it.
Nia McKnight on to run at first for Rhode. And we should mention they have gone back and changed the play in the third. That ball off the glove by Vandegrift, that's been now charged to an E7 error on Audrey Vandegrift.
Yeah, we talked about that hitting the glove. I think that's the difference there.
Winters bunts it foul. So I bring up the South Carolina point just because today I'm seeing an offense that if they put together this type of performance in regionals with the way Jory Hurd and Emma Friedel have pitched, and if they get clean defense, this is a 2 seed I would not want to see if I'm a host in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely, and I think this is what Coach Woodard has known they're capable of all year long. Winters laying down the sacrifice. But she's known they're capable of this, right? It's getting all the pieces to show up at the same time and getting people to keep believing, right? They had a slow start to the SEC season, a couple of losses in a row, series losses, but they won their last 2 series, and then they're coming in to the postseason. You have to feel good about this weekend as well. You have not played bad. Yes, they've lost 2 games, but they've been very close games, and the pitching has been good. The hitting is just getting better. So to your point, a very scary 2 seed in a regional.
It'll be interesting to see where South Carolina goes as they seed 1 through 32 kind of for the first time. 1 through 16 will be straight seeds, and then they've got the bucket system for 17 through 32, where you have buckets of 4 that are then sent to pockets of 4 in the 1 through 16. Strikeout for Brisky, her 5th.
Brisky using her rise ball back-to-back pitches to get the strikeout for out number 2. You see it moving through the zone. right at the chest level and gets the strikeout. It's when Briskey's her best. When she's throwing pitches over the heart of the zone that are moving and she's getting swings and misses, she's doing good stuff.
And a pinch hitter for Natalie Heath, Kai Byers, who we've seen start the first 2 games, freshman from Mechanicsville, Virginia.
Byers behind that one. Briskey bringing the heat, turning it up a little bit.
Stays alive with McKnight on second base. Even with the 2 runs today, South Carolina 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and with the change to an error, now 0 for 5 with runners on in this game. Changeup just misses. Briskey thought she had it. Full count.
Just outside from Briskey. Pulls the string on the off speed. On the chalk. It's been a tight zone.
And now a strikeout. And a little emotion from Jocelyn Briskey as she collects K number 6.
Well, how do you deal with a tight zone? You expand it with your best pitch. Briskey moving this rise ball up the ladder to close the inning.
Head coach Patrick Murphy, and coach, these last couple days, it's been Anna Roman who's come up with the big hit. She's made the adjustment. What have you liked about the way that this freshman has attacked her first year of college?
Great. First thing is, let's say happy early Mother's Day to your mom, Miss Tao's mom, and my mom, Jean Murphy, in Cedar Falls, Iowa. And I know she's watching today, so happy Mother's Day early. Anna's a gamer, you know, from the very, very beginning of this year. In fall ball scrimmages, she would, you know, she'd hit a home run and then maybe have a poor at-bat, but then she'd come right back and have another really good at-bat and make the adjustment that quick. She's been impressive to watch this year.
You also have a gamer in the circle, Briskey, dealing with a tight zone, but she's doing well. What do you like about her?
Just that, I guess. You know, she's very gritty. And you know the saying, gritty, not pretty. And we need to be really gritty right now with this young lady, because she pitched really well against us yesterday. They made a change, but we need to attack her right now on strikes.
Absolutely, Coach. Thank you for the time.
Okay, thanks for being here.
That's Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. Always a great conversation with the Hall of Famer, and he gave a little teaser to the viewing audience at home, because indeed there is a change in the circle as Emma Friedel comes in, the junior out of Fayetteville, Georgia, the transfer from Kennesaw State, who's been really superb all weekend long.
Friedel has pitched well for South Carolina in relief in game 1, starting game 2. She's going to work a drop ball, her rise ball, and her changeup yesterday. Everything working for her, and she's just getting more and more confident as this season goes. You see the scouting report, throws pretty hard up in the mid-60s, splits the zone vertically. But again, just getting more and more confident, solidifying herself as a number 2. And even though you don't come away with the win yesterday, she has to be feeling good about her performance.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Gave up the 1 run, that was it. Facing 8-9-1 in the order. Hawkins 0 for 1 with a strikeout. She's worked it full.
That pitch just missing. But that's been the story. The zone has been small.
Robert Gonzalez behind the plate. Matt Dial at first. Brian Crochet at third. As Hawkins fights off the rise. Another payoff. Hot shot mishandled. Just a laser that got past Anderson, and Hawkins reaches to start the fourth.
You could tell Saylin Hawkins was not happy about swinging at the rise ball out of the zone on 3-2. She lets that fuel her, hits this drop ball hard, and it just scoots past Anderson at shortstop. This infield very hard, very tough, and a break for Saylin Hawkins.
Error charge to Shea Anderson over at short. It's her 14th this year, wide at the plate. We'll see if Alabama tries to play a little execution. White pulled back the bunt. She was hit by a pitch in the third, and that kind of started all the mayhem.
Yeah, sometimes it's just that. The other team opening the door for you, and the Rhodes House jumps all over those opportunities.
Nice. Heath makes the throw in time. Good bunt defense by Carolina, but Hawkins is in scoring position for the top of the order.
Perfectly executed by the small ball gamer, Kristen White. And now again, that opportunity for Papillo and Wells with runners on. This is where Alabama is their best offensively, when they're able to give their best hitters a chance to extend the lead, change the game.
Papillo fought through the shift and the inside two-seam fastball to get a single in the third. 1 for 2 today.
It's interesting that South Carolina will continue the infield shift against Papillo, even against a different pitcher with Friedel.
Papillo, one of the seniors honored today on Senior Day. Three and 0. (3-1) on the ground and out to left field, and Murphy will send Hawkins. Alexis Papillo gives Alabama a run here in the fourth.
Papillo beat the shift on the right side in her at-bat before, and this time she beats the shift on the left side. Lets this drop ball get deep, does exactly what she wants to do with it, and drives it through the 5-6 hole. That is a routine ground out, but because of the South Carolina defensive shift, it's a single for Papillo and an RBI.
Winners will go have a word with Emma Friedel And similar to the third inning, Kaylee, this feels like one of those you got to learn how to fight through it moments for Emma Friedel. And she's done that the last few weeks, to be perfectly clear. But there will be tough moments like this in the postseason. If South Carolina wants to make the run that I think we both believe they're capable of making, it'll come down to the offense getting the timely hits and the pitchers really bearing down in these tough situations.
And they're going to ride these two arms, and they're dealing with a tight zone, but they're going to deal with that as well. You have to figure it out as the leader on the field, the woman in the circle, and this is a tough part of the lineup to work through. Papillo, a great hitter, Wells, a great hitter, but they are going to have to do that if you want to go all the way to OKC into the World Series.
Wells walked in the third, flew out in the first. South Carolina in that third inning walk had no interest in giving her a strike. Not sure you have much of a choice now, trailing by 2. Got to get some outs. But still, all around the zone, 3-0.
And sometimes it's not even intentional. It's just in the back of Friedel's mind how good Wells is, and you don't want to throw anything over the heart of the plate knowing what she can do with it.
Called strike, full count.
Clips the inside bottom corner of the zone.
Called strike 3, and Papillo is tagged out to end the inning. The old strike him out, throw him out, wraps up the 4th.
Friedel working back in this at-bat against Brooke Wells. Puts a pitch right down the middle for strike 3, and then Lexi Winters helping her out. Strike him out, throw him out, inning over.
The SEC regular season title. They need a win and 1 Oklahoma loss today. There's a doubleheader at Davis Diamond. If Oklahoma were to lose this first game and the one later on today on ESPN with Beth Mowins and Michelle Smith, and Alabama, if this score holds, would win the SEC title outright.
I think we've got a lot of secret Aggie fans at the Rhodes House today.
Well, I'm looking around the crowd. A lot of people have their phones out, and they are not tracking this game, I'll tell you that.
You know, that's the thing about Rhodes Stadium and Alabama fans. They've got a sign out in center field saying the best softball fans in the country. There are so many people in this stadium right now who know exactly what the situation is. They're tracking, they're keeping up. They want this just as bad as the girls on the field.
And a really good crowd to wrap up the regular season here in Tuscaloosa as well. 0-2 from Brisky to Shea Anderson is sent way up in the air. And a sliding effort. And the new left fielder, Lauren Johnson, comes up empty.
Johnson had to go a long way trying to make that play. See her run all the way over to the wall, trying to protect herself as well, not going head first into the wall, but couldn't make the grab. You see Patrick Murphy as they go deep into this game, making some defensive lineup changes, knowing that this score is pretty close, and he wants his best defense on the field at this point in the game.
Anderson trying to stay alive. Struck out in the 3rd, and now strikes out in the 5th. Changeup got her looking for out number 1.
Anderson just absolutely fooled by the changeup from Brisky. Doesn't even attempt at it, doesn't bite at it. She was not expecting this. A great pitch from Brisky for out number 1.
Back to the top of the order with Inslee. Inslee aggressive again. Hubbard, good throw in time. Now you've got Lelio with the bases clear. Bunts it foul. I like the idea with Wells playing deep over at first.
Yeah, I don't think the infield was expecting that at all. Lelio, a bunch of tools.
And the changeup is working today, 1-2.
I'm seeing Brisky throw it more and more as this game goes on.
Young, nice stop. Throw to first, inning over. South Carolina can't answer, and we go to the home half. Bama up 2. That game's still tied in the 6th. Alabama hoping to win and hoping for a little help from the Aggies at least once today. 3, 4, 5 due up against Friedel. Giles, Roman, and Young. And this is what this part of the order has done today. 3 of the 4 RBIs. Now that SEC regular season title would be nice, but Alabama thinking a lot about seeding for the NCAA tournament. A lock to host a regional, have been for a couple weeks now. As Giles hits that off the glove of Friedel. Great hustle by Heath, but not in time.
The middle part of the order again. Marley Giles leading off this inning with a hard hit ball. Friedel almost gloves it up. Good swing from Giles, and that's what happens when you hit the ball hard. No play from Anderson at short. Heath trying to make the play, but Marley Giles using her speed, getting down the line.
Now in comes Anna Roman, who had the RBI single in the 3rd. A check down. She did go. This is the resume for Alabama. 3 in the RPI. 12 top 25 wins. They've got 5 top 10 wins. The one real Q3, Q4 blemish, the loss at Samford. But this is an Alabama team that is in position to probably be a 1, 2, or 3 national seed, depending on what happens elsewhere and how the SEC tournament goes.
Absolutely. I think the floor really being the 3 with the resume that they have and what they've put together this season. You know, if they sweep this weekend, then a good showing at the tournament, I could see them being the 1 or the 2 seed given strength of schedule and what they've been able to put together. And it's so big to be able to stay at home for the first and second weekend, especially here at Rose Stadium. This crowd shows up and gives Alabama a true home field advantage. One of the toughest places to play in the country, if not the toughest.
Yeah, I think the intrigue is going to be how the committee orders some of those teams up at the top. Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Texas, and Oklahoma, I think, and Tennessee as well. I think a lot of people view those as some combination of a top 6. And then who that 8 seed is. Perhaps it's Texas A&M if they win this series against Oklahoma this weekend.
Absolutely. It feels like the top pretty solidified. The order maybe changes a little bit with what happens in conference tournaments. But that 7 and 8, see the RPI standings right there. Alabama sitting at number 3 today. Arkansas and Florida atop the RPI. And again, only one metric that the committee uses, but it's been a pretty good indicator over the last few years of where we will see teams shake out going into the tournament. These 16 would be looking at hosting the first round, and then the top 8 hosting the second round as well.
And it's hard to ignore the quality wins that Oklahoma has and the way that they've played this year. That's a team I'd be shocked if they're outside the 1 or 2 national seed. And one team to watch with LSU back at 10. Tennessee now has 9 RPI top 10 wins, and that's been a metric the last couple years the committee has really pinpointed. So that's something to monitor as well. You see Tennessee at 6 in the RPI, but I could envision a world where they're also 1, 2, or 3.
Well, and if it comes down to Tennessee and Alabama, Tennessee having the head-to-head with the series win last weekend. So it'll be very interesting where kind of that top 5 land, because I think you could make a case for any of those teams being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Also, Oregon worthy of a shout out as well after stomping UCLA in Easton last night, 8-2. A lot still to play for the next couple weeks before the selection show. Alabama looking to pad the lead a bit with Jenna Young up, 2 on, nobody out. The other thing to consider about Alabama, you know, in the past, we've seen the committee at times dock teams for quote-unquote how you finish. And I think if you talk to Patrick Murphy, he would probably say this team isn't playing their best ball right now, but they have been winning. And so even though it hasn't always been the prettiest, that won't impact what's on the paper. This is an Alabama team that will host a Super.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been finding ways to win. I think the offense has cooled off a little bit, but either way, I mean, the resume is still outstanding. To your point, very solid in that top 8.
Jenna Young has worked it full. Payoff from Friedel. Out to left, and that's foul.
Just foul. Nice break for South Carolina. That would have been 1 run, maybe 2. You see this ball down the left field line, just a foot foul.
And she chases upstairs. Big strikeout for Friedel, her second in relief.
Friedel coming back with her best pitch, her rise ball, moves it over the head of Jenna Young out of the zone and gets the swing and miss. That's how you come back after that foul ball. Close the door, get the strikeout.
Big unproductive out. And strike 1 to Lauren Johnson. Came on to replace Vandergrift, the junior out of Franklin, Tennessee. 0 for 1 in this series. That 1 AB was in game 2 as a pinch hitter. Another 0-2. Johnson stays alive. way up in the air. Anderson having some trouble, but she'll make the grab for out number 2.
And a nice job by Friedel after getting in a tough situation. First and second, no outs. Come back and get 2 straight outs. And now 1 out away from getting out of this inning, back in the dugout.
Another 2-out situation for Maddie Hubbard. 0 for 2 in this game. Ground out and a strikeout for the sophomore, and just because of how the innings have gone, she is responsible for all 4 runners left on base by Alabama in this game.
And you're feeling that as a hitter. You want to come up and finally produce when you've missed some of those opportunities.
Just a stunning day here in Tuscaloosa. Couldn't ask for better weather to wrap up the regular season. Anderson's got it at short. The throw got away, and Hubbard is safe. But now Alabama's caught off the base paths, and South Carolina didn't try and go for Roman. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And I think a lot that Coach Woodard could have the umpires and replay crew look at here. There was almost a collision between Anderson and Giles.
The ruling on the field is the runner was safe at first base. South Carolina is challenging this call. This play is under further review.
So they'll review the play at first.
You see this, Anderson gets this ground ball at short. It's routine, but just rushes the throw. And I don't know if Giles messed with her a little bit, but that throw very wide. First glance, I thought safe, but it's close.
I mean, I'll be honest, on that first view, I didn't see anything that would tell me this would be changed. We'll see as more looks come in.
Look at it again.
Wow.
I don't know. It looks like the glove touches there.
That one made it look like the glove got there just a split second before Hubbard's foot. Here's the call.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. The runner is out at first base. South Carolina will have 2 challenges remaining.
So Coach Woodard wins the challenge, and the inning ends. Alabama still up 4-2 after 5 here in Tuscaloosa. Still trying to stay in the SEC race. A 4-2 lead on South Carolina. Jocelyn Briskey, the ace, still in the circle. It's not been the cleanest day, or frankly, the cleanest weekend for the junior, but she's gotten the crucial outs when she's had to, Kaylee.
And that's been the difference from last season to this season for Briskey. It's when she doesn't have her best stuff or teams are on her getting some good contact, she's been able to fight through it and still get wins. She's doing that this weekend.
3-4-5 for the Gamecocks here in the 6th. Glad that you're with us here in Tuscaloosa. Gray Robertson, the 3-time All-American Kaylee Tao, our entire cast and crew, who's worked so hard all spring long to bring you the best coverage of softball around the league and around the country. And Shelton trying to make the best contact out to right and into the brickyard. Solo homer for Carly Shelton, and the Gamecocks are within 1.
This is how you start the 6th inning for Carly Shelton. Takes a big swing on a pitch left over the plate. And Shelton, one of the best hitters for South Carolina all year long. She's trying to be that spark her team needs going late into this game. That ball, a no-doubter into the brickyard for a solo shot.
Home run number 7 for the junior from Lexington, South Carolina. Jamie McKay has struck out twice against Brisky. Senior out of California. She's going to play in the new Women's Pro Baseball League. She was drafted by Los Angeles in the 2nd round, 23rd overall. Two. Change-up missed.
Just missing low.
This is high in the sky out to left. Playable for Johnson. 1 away.
The wind working with these fly balls just a little bit. Alabama gets the first out of the inning.
First baseman number 16, Ariana Rody.
But now, this has been the nightmare for Brisky. Ariana Rody, 3 career home runs, including 1 in this game off the Alabama ace, as the first pitch is fouled into the crowd.
Well, if you're Brisky, you have to show her something different. Lance McMahon, the pitching coach, deep in the archives. What can they use to get her out? Spin it a little bit more, use the changeup.
Outside of the home run, Rhodey also has a single back in the 4th, so a couple hits today. And Brisky wins the battle this time. 2 down.
Rhodey was expecting something spinny, something out of the zone, and Brisky stuns her with this pitch on the outside corner for strike 3. Beautiful pitch from Jocelyn Brisky.
8 strikeouts. And now Lexi Winters.
You talk about the differences of Brisky's season over season. This inning is one as well. Starts off with the solo home run. She's worked back to get 2 outs. Last year, maybe that doesn't happen, but this year with her experience and her poise, she's gotten so much better with bouncing back after mistakes or errors from her defense. That's what's made her so good.
It's been quite a season for Jocelyn Brisky, National Player of the Year, top 25 finalist, SEC Pitcher of the Week twice, entered this weekend. 4th in the conference in ERA, 3rd in wins, and 1st by a mile in strikeout to walk ratio.
When you talk about SEC Pitcher of the Year awards, a lot of it is your team winning. Alabama's at the top of this conference because of what Jocelyn Brisky has been doing, finding ways to win for her team.
Stopped by Hubbard. inning over. 1 run for South Carolina, but that's all. Alabama leads 4-3. They'll look for insurance when we come back. The Tide looking to sweep. Gamecocks trying to salvage here in Game 3 of this series as we journey on to the bottom of the 6th. With an eye on what's happening in College Station, a Kai Minor RBI triple has given the Sooners a 4-3 lead. They're in the top of the 7th right now. Aggies in the bottom of the 7th will have the heart of the order due up. 2-3-4 Edwards, Maya Perez, and Michaela Wark. Oklahoma trying to clinch a share with a victory there. An OU loss in Game 1 or Game 2 today. And an Alabama win would mean co-champs, and if A&M comes back there and then wins the later game today, Alabama, if the current score holds, would be your outright SEC regular season champions. But the Tide wants some insurance. 8-9-1 due up. Hawkins, again, a hot shot to Anderson. Throw in time for out number 1. In steps Kristen White. No official at-bat today. Hit by pitch in the 3rd, sac bunt in the 4th.
I think Alabama, for momentum purposes, needs to put some pressure on South Carolina in this inning. South Carolina able to score in the top half of this inning, and then you go into the 7th with that momentum. If Alabama lets them have a quick inning defensively, they're feeling pretty good, I think, for Alabama's sake.
Oh, nice snare by Anderson. That was a rip by White, but 2 down.
Yeah, and Anderson with a couple good plays this inning. See Anderson pulled in for the slapper, has to get up a little bit, makes a great play there for out number 2.
Now comes Ashley Chastain Woodard. Interesting. I wonder, yeah, it looks like they might bring back in Jory Hurd to face Papillo. Hurd was in the bullpen and just came back into the dugout. And that is indeed the plan. We'll step aside for just a moment. Coach Woodard going matchups. The starter back in. Well, Jory Hurd, the starter, is back in for South Carolina. Ashley Woodard liking the matchup against the lefty Alexis Papillo, and now the senior re-enters to try and get out number 3 here in the 6th.
South Carolina playing some matchups here. They like the look of Hurd against the lefty. She throws that 2-seam fastball on the inside. Half of the plate to the lefties, underneath their hands, had some success with it. The defense is going to shift into the 3-4 hole against Papillo as well.
It's been a nice day for the senior Papillo, 2 for 3. Hurd struck her out in the 1st, but since then a pair of singles and an RBI.
Look at that defensive shift. Shelton, the second baseman, playing over in the grass in the 3-4 hole, and Anderson, shortstop, pulled past second base on that right side.
goes outside and misses 3 and 1.
Interesting to see her throw an outside pitch, knowing Papillo just went that way in her last at bat.
That is smoked, but foul.
And that's definitely how you work to beat the shift. We've got some battling out in the brickyard for the foul ball. But that's how you beat the shift if you're Papillo. You don't want to roll over it. That's what this infield wants you to do. Stay underneath it, get in the green.
That's high. Alexis Papillo draws the walk. And with 2 outs, Brooke Wells will get another shot.
I think we need to point out that Emma Friedel is done. She's burned. So if Jory Hurd comes out of this game, she'll also be done, and South Carolina will have to go to a pitcher that they haven't thrown this weekend.
I've seen Neely Lamb warm up a bit, and they're going to be careful with Wells. Winner's moved out. This will be, for all intents and purposes, an intentional walk.
South Carolina wants to keep this at a 1-run game going into the 7th. Not taking any chances.
Now you do have to execute the pitch. We saw that not happen last night in Florida, Georgia, and Jaden Goodwin hit the walk-off single.
Seen that happen a few times. Reese Atwood at the World Series. It's something that teams don't practice a ton. I'll tell you, at Alabama, Patrick Murphy made us practice that because it's something that goes unnoticed, but it's not easy for pitchers to just throw 4 straight balls.
Well, Hurd takes care of it. So now 1st and 2nd, 2 outs for Marley Giles. He's had a good day, 1 for 2, a ground out, an RBI walk, and a single. Giles this year batting .395 with runners in scoring position. Trying to get Alabama a little extra cushion. Back up the middle, stopped by Anderson. The throw to second will end the inning. What a play at short by South Carolina. The Gamecocks are down to their final 3 outs, off to the 7th. Bama up 1. We'll start things off.
This is where the leadoff is so important. Set the tone if you're able to work that leadoff runner on. Can use some execution, try to get something going, manufacture a run.
And obviously the key thing for South Carolina, just get anyone on base and let Tori Inslee have 1 more at-bat in this game.
Exactly. You want to bring your best hitter to the plate, give you a chance to win.
Just missed. Strikeout number 9 for Brisky. 1 down.
Brisky painting the corner with the drop ball. She's setting the tone in the 7th inning, getting the first out. First one is a big one. Mixes her drop ball up on that outside corner for the looking K.
Can the Gamecocks get a big one from Big Bat Nat, Natalie Heath? And I'd be remiss as well if I didn't mention this is our final digital show of the year. Big thanks to the entire crew behind the scenes, producers, directors, Andrew Hendershot, Mackenzie Maxwell, Thomas Wade, Cooper Johnson, Woj, Ben, everybody. The cast and crew operating the cameras, audio, who get here way earlier than we do, and we get here early. Our other teammates, Allie Shipman, Nicole Mendez. That was foul, but well struck by Heath, 1 and 2.
And we've had some great softball to talk about all season long as well. So many good teams coming into the Rhodes House. We're appreciative of all of it.
Little low. Heath battling.
Spoiling some good pitches, some hard foul balls.
Gonna be Dukeshire in at first base now. Larissa Pruitt out in right field. Heath, ground ball, stopped by Hubbard. Throw to first. Good stretch from Dukeshire. 2 down.
What a play by Maddie Hubbard at third base. We've seen the middle infield with some great plays, and now the corners in on the action. Hubbard coming across into the hole, diving, gets up on her knees, throws a dart over to first base to get out number 2.
Coach Woodard will turn to a pinch hitter, someone we've seen often in this series. The junior, Alyssa Hovermail, Florida transfer. She's 1 for 2, has an infield hit, and then the out was that spectacular double play yesterday that looked like a hit off the bat. So, right move to bring her in.
Yeah, she's had some good contact, and again, you just want someone who can extend this ball game, get Inslee up to the plate.
Tori Inslee's waiting on deck. 0-2. Pitch 100 for Jocelyn Brisky. And it misses inside, 1 and 2. Jammed on the infield. Catch made by Hawkins, and Alabama wraps up the regular season with a home sweep of South Carolina.
It wasn't easy, but no sweep is. You see there, Alabama with the win, clinching the number 2 seed, still a half game behind Oklahoma. We'll see what happens in that game later on. but Alabama coming away with the win in game number 3. 3 one-run wins for Alabama, finding a way, finishing off the regular season on a positive note.
And all eyes for everyone in crimson and white will be on OU Texas A&M coming up at 4 o'clock. Sooners won the first game today 4-3. An A&M win would allow Alabama to share that co-championship title with the Oklahoma Sooners. But the Tide is thrilled with what they did today. A 4-3 victory over South